Look around. What do you see? A whiteboard, a table, a water bottle. Now think about what they all have in common. They all started off as an idea and are now worth millions of dollars to someone. Everyone has been talking about their degree and what they want to become. And honestly, everyone wants a degree for two reasons. The first reason being for the money, to be able to provide for their families and to be able to provide for themselves. And the next reason is that they have a certain passion for it. Personally, I'm in it for the money. I want to inform you guys about my career choice, which is entrepreneurship. And the three aspects I'll be talking about include well-known business, how a well-known business started, the salaries an entrepreneur makes, and how I got interested in entrepreneurship. You're probably wondering what the well-known business is. You probably have it in your pocket. It is the famous iPhone. And before I get into the story, I would like to put this out there. iPhone over Android any day of the week. On August 2nd, Apple made its first $1 trillion. Now that's a high milestone. I don't have a dollar in my pocket. So it started off with three guys: Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. The two Steves met through a mutual friend, and they clicked instantly. They both had an interest in pranks and technology. So they started doing pranks and eventually started making blue boxes, which are basically a form of long-distance communication that's free. And now let me go back to Ronald. Now Ronald is the most unfortunate person I've ever heard of. He was offered 10% of Apple stock by the two Steves, and he took it. And after 12 days, he sold it for $800. And today, 10% of Apple's share is worth $100 billion or more. What would you have done if you were in his position? And what would you have done if you were him today? Now that's food for thought. Since we're talking about money, let me tell you about the salary for an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur roughly makes from $30,000 to over $130,000. And that was estimated in 2018, so you get the gist of what an entrepreneur makes. In my eyes, I don't agree with this salary. I believe that an entrepreneurship is a game of risk, where you either go big or go home, where the salary goes from $0 to being set for life. There are entrepreneurs who make millions and millions of dollars, who have tried hard, and there are also others who have tried even harder and have become bankrupt and failed. And that's the fun part of it, the risk, trying something new, something out of the box, working on yourself, working on the business, trying as hard as you can, and eventually seeing it grow. Now, I know you're dying to hear what caused me to be interested in entrepreneurship. I worked at a factory job last summer. It was Truth Amesbury in Otana, and honestly, I hated it. The first day I went there, it was my first job. The first day I went there, I was just sitting there watching videos. I made over $120. I thought I was living the life, I was like, forget college, The second day hits, they put me in a corner where I'm just putting machines together all day long. And then, there's only like 2 breaks, 10 minute, 20 minute. So the rest of the time I'm just sitting there, just putting things together. 2 months go by, they start getting used to me, so I start getting yelled at to go faster, hit the numbers. And I just couldn't take it anymore. And then I was thinking, if my manager gets to yell at me, who yells at him? And who yells at the one who yells at him? And eventually it goes to the CEO, the person who owns the business, the person who had the idea of starting that business. I did an interview with my mom, who used to do businesses in Somalia and Pakistan, and a guy named Mohammed Dahir, who's a family member of mine. They're both, my mom used to be import-exporter, and he currently is. I took 2 things away from what they told me that really interested me. It was that that they got to travel a lot and see new cultures and new things, and got to experience something. And they exaggerated on that entrepreneurship is not easy. You gotta have a plan. There are people who have one-hit wonders, but most of the time that's not the case. You have to put effort and time, and yeah. To me, owning a business, having someone work for you, being able to pay yourself, and being your own boss, and having fun and doing whatever you want at work, and making money, that is my dream job. In a nutshell, I told you about how Apple started off and now is going over $1 trillion. The salaries ranging from $30,000 to over $130,000, and how I got interested in entrepreneurship. Thank you. Any questions?
Is there any specific type of business you want to own?
I was planning on starting an import and export from China and taking it to third world countries, and adding some sort of profit on top of that and making money from that. Any other questions? Yes.
What kind of education are you going to get? I suppose entrepreneurs get a wide variety of education, but how about you?
Honestly, college is like a backup plan to me. Entrepreneurship just needs like money and investment, and you having an idea and you going through with that idea and sticking to it. So yeah, that's what I would be. Any other questions?
All right, thank you, Abdi.